Well, good morning, anybody who's watching. Ooh. Oh, I really don't like this. There we go. Sorry. I had to check that I was muted on something else, and... Good morning, Vampire Links. How are you doing? Quiet. Of course, technically Christmas here in England is still ongoing because it is Boxing Day. So, and then, of course, because you got the weekend coming up. Christmas is basically extended all the way through the weekend. So people who watch regular television have to deal with various channels' desperate attempts to keep the Christmas programming going for, well, let me see, 2, 3, 6 days. Fortunately, I don't watch TV. Well, not often, at any rate. How was your Christmas? Oh, it did it again. I keep forgetting that. I really don't like the way that some games handle when you change to another screen or a different window. Why can't they just pause? That way everything stays up. Minecraft is bad at this. You go off the screen and it minimizes. Pathless does this. I think Journey does it. Sky has the best method I know. You hold down Alt, you move your cursor off the screen, and everything continues just fine. No Man's Sky, even if you Alt Tab to a different window on a different screen, the game just pauses. That makes so much sense. Right, where were we? In the previous episode, we had a little conversation with, what did they call her? The Eagle Mother? And I had spent entirely too long trying to get out of the first area because I was too lacking in observance to notice where I was supposed to stand at one point. Anyway, let's see where we end up. Ah, okay, it is literally continuing us from where we left off, which is good. Yes, Eagle Mother. I assume that was the Eagle Mother. I mean, giant honking eagle in the game. I'm tempted to say, you know what? I think that was the Eagle Mother. I must admit I do still very much like the looks of this game, and I know that's partly down to the use of the Unreal 4 engine. I did attempt to try and find out just a wee bit more about the game, in a half-hearted kind of fashion, and I didn't find anything, to be honest. It's not exactly a game that has even its own wiki, fandom wiki. I was just wanting to know what these regions were called so that I could apply appropriate titles to the live streams. So I ended up stealing lines from, oh grief, I want to say a poem by Robert Frost, of which I only remember the last verse. I think that's right. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, etc. So that's why this episode is called I Have Promises to Keep. Now, based on the game continuity so far, One would be tempted to think we are the first hunter to actually make it this far. All the skeletons we've seen have so far been outside, which would tend to imply within the story of the game that we are somehow the first people to get this far. Don't spoil it for me, because I just want to be amused if I find out that's not the case. Oh! Cute little eagle. Pet eagle. Pet the eagle with... Oh. Oh, I see. Only took me 2.5 hours to get it. Would have been quicker. I mean, in a way, that's the only reason for playing the game. You know, get your friendly local eagle. I hope I don't shoot it by mistake. Oh! What do you want to bet? Is that a nod to ABZÜ, the fact that they have a shark statue there? This doesn't exactly... I know the hunter has a sort of Japanese vibe. You know, she's got that look, and the bow, which looks to me very much like a Japanese Yumi. But some of this is very much not Japanese, I feel. This definitely looks like... Yes, I think we have a nod to ABZÜ here. I suspect... I'll find out when I get to... Nope, not going to... Oh, yes. Bit of a hint there from the eagle. So I will go look over here, just for the sake of it. One thought I had yesterday was that this is almost the potential to be a much greater game. I'm not entirely certain how, but in some ways this could be almost too simple so far. Like they could have done so much more. Okay, so now we do have a bit of a thing. Who's the body? It seems to be, I wouldn't say relatively fresh, but does that mean that we are not the first hunter to make it this far? Well, at least I recognize what that's for. Oh, I completely forgot about that feature. Well, that's a strong eagle. Oh, I see. It's an alternate way of doing the old pick up the heavy burden and drop it down type of puzzle. I obviously didn't. And we are clearly not the first people here. Which means, I wonder how many times the Eagle Mother has had to go through this. I do think that's a rather funny touch, the eagle sitting on the corpse's head. Why do I get the feeling we're going to be going backwards and forwards a bit? Oh, it looks like a fairly large group made it this far and kind of set themselves up while they were attempting to do something. I'd be very curious to read through those scrolls. But I got a suspicion I know what I'm expected to do next. Ah, nope, I was wrong. Can I pick that up fast enough and... Nope. Alright, let's try that again. I wonder. I'm just curious. Oh dear. Okay. I thought I was being clever. Well, as we know from yesterday, my attempts at being clever don't necessarily work out. Huh. Yeah, obviously that's not quite how it's supposed to work. Maybe I was right. Well, I can start to see now how these people died here. They got irritated having to and starved to death trying to go backwards and forwards through all these puzzles. Well, all right. What happens if I stand right on the door? Nope. No glitching for me. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think I can move fast enough, can I, to do this? So while I'm while I'm wandering around here, wondering what I'm doing, anybody got anything in specific they might like me to talk about? Seeing as I normally digress from the game considerably. Can't see through that, can I? Oh, you could conceivably thread an arrow through there. I mean, to me it seems obvious the whole intent is to get those heavy weights down there. And I need one heavy weight to drop here so that I can shoot that. But apparently oh, that's how it works. So then you come over here. We plink that. You go pick that up. So has anybody been keeping track of the so-called flat Earth experiment? Sorry, the so-called final experiment being run for flat earthers in the Antarctic. I've mentioned it before. I don't know whether you've heard of this one, Vampire Squid. So, just a brief recap. With the rise of the internet, a bunch of liars, con men, and downright idiots have basically been telling people that the Earth is flat, which it's demonstrably and provably not. Now, one of the things they've said is that Antarctica doesn't exist. You can't go to Antarctica. Or if you attempt to go to Antarctica, you'll be turned back by people with guns. All of which, of course, is complete rubbish. Tourists go to Antarctica every year. If you get the necessary forms filled out, you can go visit Antarctica. You can get a job in Antarctica. And one of the reasons they're kind of saying this is that one of the features of Antarctica is that because the Earth is a globe, well, oblate spheroid to be precise, and because of the tilt of the Earth, because of the tilt of the Earth, at certain times of the year during the middle of the Antarctic summer, the sun doesn't set. And you can demonstrate this quite readily. Oh, you know what? I find myself rather distressed by the fact that the eagle's not happy. And so they have denied that a 24-hour day is possible in Antarctica. So earlier this year, this is 2024 if you're watching in 2025, a Utah pastor called Will Duffy decided that he would take a flat earther to Antarctica to prove that there is in fact a 24-hour sun. Now, there have been live stream. There have been, you know, live streams of 24-hour sun in Antarctica. So really, this is you know, not a question, but the flat earthers say it's all faked and it's not real. Okay, he's not happy. Right. So, Will Duffy, somehow, I don't know whether he's independently wealthy or not, got the money together and basically offered to take YouTube flat earthers to Antarctica. And they, of course, said no. Because they know what they're pulling off is a con, in my opinion. And their refusal to go kind of indicates to me that they know this. Okay, so I definitely need to get rid of the redness there. Oh, it's even worse. They think the continent of Antarctica is actually the ice wall around our circular flat plane of existence that keeps the waters from falling off the edge. And they kind of forget that ice floats. So anyway. So Will Duffy, one of the guys he offered to take refused to go, and I can't remember his reasons. Another guy, I think it was the one known as Jeranism, said he would go, but you know, he didn't want to go on his own. So Will Duffy said, okay, you can go with another flat earther of your choosing. And actually persuaded this guy and another flat earther to go to Antarctica. All expenses paid. Oh, that's interesting. We definitely aren't the first people to get here. Why do they not have bows? Why is this guy armed with a sword? So, Jeranism, friend of his who I can't remember the name of, and two regular globe earthers, I can't remember if they were YouTube globe earthers or not, and Will Duffy himself all set off for Antarctica and got there last week. And needless to say, there was a 24-hour sun. Now, leading up to this, the flat earth community is saying that this is not valid. They never believed that there wasn't a 24-hour sun, or that you come up with whatever excuses they could to keep their lie going. Okay, that's a little harsh. I'm sure for some of them it is a con. I think the others have just been duped, maybe. But they actively don't want to be disproved, and they will do anything to be shown to be wrong. So that's sort of the mark of a con to me. And so one of them, I think Jeranism, has actually gone on camera and said, I was wrong. There is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And of course, as far as I can tell, the flat earth community is saying, oh, it's all a simulation, or it's all made up, or it's all not real. Things to that effect. Similar lunacy. They're going to say probably that Jeranism isn't a real flat earther. But it is kind of hilarious, you know. I mean, and I will give kudos to the two flat earthers who did go. They actually had, you know, the intellectual honesty to say, yes, we'll go, thank you very much. I don't know if they thought there would be a 24-hour sun when they got there. I suspect they knew there would be one, but I can't prove it. Oh, this is kind of nice. So now, I imagine over the next few weeks and months we're going to get the rest of the Flat Earth community, like David Weiss, who was one of the really prominent ones, aka Flat Earth Dave. You should watch David Weiss. Don't watch his channel directly. Don't give him the views. Watch commentary on him. He's got all the language and body language, I think, of a con man. So yeah, I've no doubt we're now going to be coming. One of the things they've said is that, you know, okay, so you go down to Antarctica, and are they really there? Yes. You know, where else is there that's quite like Antarctica? What else are they saying? I can't remember now. I watched a few bits and pieces over the last few days. But yeah, no, this is all got the potential. Yeah, it's got the potential to create a whole new era for the Flat Earth community, such as it is. Oh, is this like a chapter selection point for later? Don't tell me if it is. Domain of Nimue. Oh, that's funny. That's a complete coincidence, I swear. Anybody who's watched my Journey of the Wingless knows my avatar in that is called Nimue. Anyway. So I'm sure that Jeranism is going to be called a shill and a liar, and he's been paid off. Basically, the Flat Earth community is a bunch of gigantic conspiracy theorists. Oh, I just realized what this is. This is a sort of representation of the island, isn't it? Of course it is. So, Redwood Steppe, Domain of Sauro. Landing! Landing! It's called the landing. You are here, pilgrim. So it is, yeah, endlessly. It is endlessly amusing. I will be very interested to see David Weiss. Flat Earth Dave is one of the more prominent flat earthers, and like I say, to me, you watch him and it's like, yeah, he's a liar and a con man. It shows up, the way he presents everything. Some of them are worse. None of them have any particular education, as far as I can understand. And if they do, they're using it to lie to the public. Ooh. Space to jump and space while airborne to glide. Yay, I can fly! Huh. Well, that's interesting. We still have more evidence that we are not the first to come through and try and relieve the island of its curse. Can I go back? I can. Oh, that's very nice. I like this. Now, but the thing is, we've known the Earth, the shape of the Earth, and the approximate size of the Earth for over 2,500 years. A Greek mathematician, I want to say Aristophanes, and I can't remember it, demonstrated the size of the Earth a long, long time ago using fairly basic mathematics. And that experiment that he did can very easily be duplicated by anybody with curiosity. Oh, you can just fall. You don't have to. But I've no doubt the Flat Earth community will survive and come up with oh, that's not encouraging. I'll no doubt it'll survive and find other ways to justify its existence. there's simply too much money to be made in science denial for it to go away. We're awfully heavy for such a small eagle. Definitely not the first. I feel kind of sorry for the eagle mother. I mean, if these are hunters who have attempted this before me, and we are told, I think at the beginning, that other hunters have tried and failed, but if they've all got this far, how many times must the eagle mother have thought there was some small degree of hope? Has this been the same eagle every time, or a different eagle? Oh, so this will be interesting. Can the eagle pick me and this heavy weight up? Nope. Good to know. Is that the only way across? Am I going to have to do a run and jump? If you wouldn't mind putting that massively heavy object you are probably carrying down, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Doesn't seem to get tired. Have any of these skeletons, have we observed any of them with a bow yet? Or have they all come through as sort of warriors with swords, and in this case an axe? A rather implausibly large axe, I think. Well, I think it's fairly obvious what happens here. I jump into the middle. Oh, I just realized, no. Oh wow, that is kind of pretty. Oh, I don't seem... Do I not have control over... I do not. Whoa, that could have been embarrassing. Maybe it's the nature of the island that if you show up with a sword, it gives you different tactics. That would be a bit daft. So that obviously is where we came from. You know, I really would like this to be the setting for a different kind of game. It's fine for what it is. I liked ABZÜ, for example. And this definitely has ABZÜ vibes and Journey vibes, which one would expect. So I'm going to guess at some point the eagle dies. Don't tell me if that's true or not. It simply would be in keeping with what we've experienced from games like this in the past. There's going to be something mildly traumatic. I keep forgetting that I have to hit Q to find out where we're going sometimes. Ooh, that was a mistake and a half. I wondered what would happen if I did that. And I guess I found out you can fly down, but you can't fly up. Oh, silly me. I think at this point the eagle is entitled to say, "You twit." I should have guessed. I just wondered if I could sort of skirt a corner there. Well, let's see if it's any easier to go back the way we... to retrace our steps. Well, that does add to the open world feel to it. Oh, that definitely helps. I'm just curious to have a sort of general look around. See where everything takes us. I'm going to assume that we can glide down there. I assume we can go all those places. Oh, what's this way? I'll get on with it eventually. I'm not in a rush. I hope nobody else is. Alright, that just seems to be one way in, one way out. Alright. Oh well, that was an interesting diversion. Doesn't take too long to find out. I'm obviously supposed to go over the bridge, but I'm not going to just yet. I'm going to mess around here a bit. There are achievements you can get according to Steam, and I can safely say I don't have any of them yet. I'm somehow not surprised that I couldn't just flap across. Got a suspicion somebody playing this was a Lara Croft fan. I mean, the original PSX Lara Croft, which I remember playing more years ago than I care to admit to. Oh! That's what that's for. You can flap while gliding. Collect more crystals to be able to flap additional times in the air. So, wing levels to flap first start gliding. Okay. Press space. Got it. It is literally the same. It's a they have flappies like Sky. They've just implemented it differently. Bit of a crossover over there, I feel. Now, briefly returning to the flat earthers, some of them, if not all of them, don't think space is real. They don't think we landed on the moon. They think any photographs taken from space are faked and CGI, which, given that some of the earliest photographs taken in space were really long before we could do anything like vaguely effective CGI, is a little bit ridiculous, but anyway. The International Space Station isn't really there, despite the fact that you can look up at the right time and you can see the International Space Station. I'm trying to think, what other idiocy do they believe? Some of them think they get this from the Christian Bible. Not only do they think the Earth is flat, they think it's covered by a transparent dome, which is a description to be found in the Old Testament. That it is impossible to get into space. They never seem to consider the fact that basically for what they're saying to be true, every single space agency, everyone responsible for sending a satellite into Earth orbit or probes beyond Earth's orbit, all of them, it's all a lie. That's what they believe. The one thing I've never really heard of is why. What is the motivation for all this? How would it all be done and so effectively concealed? And yet some poorly educated twit on YouTube apparently is the only one who can look at it and say, yes, well, clearly that's rubbish. Well, looks like I'm going to guess that we go along there at some point. Alright, has it been raining this entire time while we were in the landing area, or is it just now? Oh, the florist? The Florist's Plateau. Well, actually, given the name, given the flowers, I suppose that's not unreasonable. The Forest Plateau. Oh, we can slowly hover. I'm not really going anywhere at this particular point. I'm just looking around. I mean, obviously we're supposed to go over there and head towards that. I'm in no rush. This has, I was going to say, a certain similarity to Caravan Sandwich. It's this bit that you can sort of wander around. Although this looks better than Caravan Sandwich. Although, having said that, I think they're both using the Unreal 4 game engine, or graphics engine. Trying to think of other things I can talk about without potentially getting myself into trouble. Because Caravan Sandwich is set on essentially an alien planet, I can always talk about things related to that. But this would require me to delve into the depths of my very limited Japanese folklore, which I don't basically have. You know, the implications of having all these best guess, Golden Eagle. Maybe not. No. My first guess would be Golden Eagle. And I don't have the means to look it up, but I don't remember Golden Eagles having white banding on their tails. But it may not be based on anything. I am surprised that the hunter only has a bow. I mean, to be honest, if I was heading out for this kind of thing and I thought, oh, I'll take a bow, I would, I assume that's some form of armor she's wearing. I would want something else. Because bows are not great melee weapons. Not close range. Don't care what they show in movies. Every time in a movie or a video game you see somebody using their bow as something like a quarterstaff, it always makes me cringe. Yeah, you could technically do it if you didn't have any choice, but you really, really don't want to do that. Actually, that reminds me, I think I remember a case from medieval England. And someone's not happy. Is the eagle now leaving me? wouldn't blame it after that. Yeah, no, there was a case, I think it was in medieval England, and as I recall, I don't even remember where I heard this. It was on, whether I read it in a history book or historical documentary, probably something to do with bows. Anyway, there was a case where a man was killed with a bow. And you may think, well, yeah, that's what happens. No, apparently he beat the guy to death with his bow stave. Oh, right, okay. Lucky guess. So, yes, there actually have been historical cases, I think, where someone has been beaten to death with a bow, but it's not something you would generally encourage. Oh, that doesn't look very promising. Is that coming towards me? It is. Do I need... Okay, my first inclination is to get into the water. And... I'm going to guess and say that was one of those unavoidable situations. Oh, they've done the whole... This is taken straight from Journey and Sky. Thanks, guys. Or did they steal it from Squid Game? Oh, they did take this from... They took this from Sky. Oh, you... You monsters. And now I've lost my flappies. Oh, come on, guys. Couldn't you have shown a little bit more originality than that? I mean, yeah, I grant you it was differently presented, but that's the same thing. Oh. Alright, can I go back and reclaim my flappies? Let's go take a look. Oh, I've still got it! Oh, okay. I thought I'd lost it. Oh, I've still got one flap level. Oh, alright. So I've got to go back and do that all over again. Oh, wonderful. Right, I tell you what I'm going to do, and you may have anticipated this because I've been streaming for an hour. Well, first of all, future plans. Obviously, I've got to get through and around that somehow. I want to go and investigate what's over there first. And maybe up there and over there before I go anywhere near that. Now, me pausing means you're going to have to look at my unimaginative desktop briefly while I switch off the camera and do things like that. But I will... Oh, look! There's animals up here. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad about that. For a second I was almost transported back to the long dark. Right, so, yeah, my general procedure, switch the camera off, return to the game so you can look at something and listen to something while I'm gone, and I'll return in a few minutes, so see you then. And I'm back. I want to have a look at some of these deer. Oh, and did I say thank you, Vampire Links, for looking up what young golden eagles look like? If I didn't, thank you. I want to have a look and see what these deer are like. Huh. Okay, that's not, actually, that's a nice touch. I like that. And once again, I am made to think that this, if they made this more open, this would be a fantastic environment for a different type of cozy video game. So, lesson learned, I will not head straight up there. I will try the other bits. I wonder if they have fish in the streams. Oh, didn't realize I'd lost my running capabilities. You know what might be interesting would be having the ability to run this game as the different types of hunter. That would be kind of cool. This cursed beast is not Kernos. It cannot be. It is fiery, abhorrent, cruel. It crushed this hostel like paper. The tall one I spent my life worshipping never contained such cruelty. Oh, so some of these people here are not hunters. They are the original inhabitants. Okay, so what am I supposed... Oh, it's a drag the... Oh. Is this the Odysseus challenge? Am I supposed to get an arrow through there? Yes, sort of looks like it. In the story of Odysseus, to prove who he was, he arranged for a series of axes. This is at the end game. He arranged for a series of axes to be lined up, and the axes were those with cutouts in the heads. He then strung a horn bow, I think it was a horn bow that only he apparently could draw, and fired an arrow clean through all the axes, the axe heads. And you know, that's sort of similar to this. At least that's what it reminds me of. Yeah, that doesn't really help me. Yeah. Oh, I see. 3 shots. Okay, I've got a feeling I'm missing something. So, at a guess, we have to get this one out, huh? Yeah, we have to get this one out. Alright. How am I going to manage that? Oh, of course. Please don't tell me this is one of those timed things. We've only got a limited amount of time to get down. Oh. Sorry, didn't mean to leave you there. Is that a straight line? It's worth a try. So, am I supposed to head over there next? Or there? Let's head uphill. Tell you what, I would actually kind of like a fantasy novelist to make a novel of this. That might be interesting. Fill in the backstory, fill in a lot of the meaning. I'm trying to think, Kurnos, or is it pronounced Cernos? Is that from... I'm trying to remember, because my mind wants to say I've heard the name before. It seems to make sense. I mean, if an area, one of the areas is named after Nimue, then Kurnos, that's... Nimue is Celtic. Cernos is, I'm pretty certain, something out of Celtic mythology. And I don't remember the details at this time. And it looks like we're supposed to light those up. This is the bit... Yeah, that's familiar, but I don't remember the details. That's appropriate. Okay. That's very appropriate for what we've got here. Ah, that's promising. Hey, there we go. Yeah, because yeah, you could fill in quite a bit. That would make for an interesting... I think that would make for an interesting novel. The only downside, of course, is that you are for the novelist is that there's no interaction, there's no conversation. But it could still be done. Definitely something I would like to see. But how would she know, for example, that she has to visit all those in order? There's no why given, unfortunately. It's sort of a random thing in the game. Okay, now I'm curious. Is this just smoking for no reason? So still, it's an interesting mix of influences on the game. So far, that I've been able to identify. We've got Japanese, we have Celtic. If that really was a nod to ABZÜ, then that would be, I think, Sumerian. Oops. And we're back to platforming. What do you want to bet? I bet I've missed something. Oh, I haven't. Wonder if I can get high enough for that. Not quite. Hello. Why had I not noticed that before? Or maybe I did. I had a guess I probably ought to head over that way next. And that way. Little bit like the Eye of Sauron. Yeah, let's head over that way, I suppose. Gives a kind of an aerial view of where we're doing. Try not to run into any trees along the way. I wonder if each sort of section you get to has a different mythological theme. Oh no, wait a second, because now we've got Nimue, Lady of the Lake, and we've got Kurnos, God of the Wild Places, and they're both Celtic. So you have a female Japanese bowman making her way through Celtic mythology. So, is this a drop the weights puzzle, or something else? Certainly could be, couldn't it? Alright, let's have a look around. Don't know why I had to light those lanterns on the way up. Or if I do know, I've forgotten. I'm gonna have to look up the tall ones if I remember. See whether that's a previously used idea. Wouldn't surprise me. There's certainly plenty of room for things to be hidden around here. Let's see what this person... As the world burns and the land starves, I can still find peace in my own thoughts in this meditation garden. If I perish now, I perish in serenity. Well, I got to say, this doesn't exactly look like a starving world. We have already seen deer. Reminds me of the sky in the Golden Wasteland. Ah, there's something. I wonder if they will feel sorry. I actually feel a bit sorry for using our friend like this to carry heavy weights for us. Ooh. Ah, that's interesting. I, for some reason, assumed that I would be able to climb. I wonder... Just too high. Alright, let's see whether we can do this. Yeah, looks like we can. Put the heavy thing where we can see it, and then persuade our poor overburdened eagle to put it in useful places. Alright. All we have to do now is find the other one. I suppose it would be too much to hope that they decided to put one on each side. Well, if in doubt, go head for high ground. Maybe that will tell me something useful. I did have the slightly horrible thought, oh well, maybe I could just shoot a deer and drop that on the pressure plate. Sorry, that's what I thought for a moment. I'm coming back here because it's not exactly a central place, but it's a sort of viewpoint. So I can look out and say, alright, so we went over there to pick up one heavy object. And does it give me any clues from looking up here where the next heavy object is? I mean, going up the hill would possibly be reasonable. Have I been in there? Oh, let's go up all the way. Looks a bit like one of the fortresses in Minecraft. I haven't played Minecraft extensively in quite a while. I need to go back and find out what they've done with the latest updates. I suppose one of the problems is Minecraft's been pretty much done to death from a point of view of streaming lately. Yeah, that doesn't look healthy over there, does it? There's another one of those lantern type things. Oh, it's one of those other light everything up in the right order tricks, isn't it? Oh, let's see what we get. Where are they getting their fuel from for all this? Curious minds want to know. Uh-huh. Not helpful. Is this even important to this part of the whole quest? No, is the simple answer. Maybe? I don't know. I'm here now, I may as well have a good poke around. Oh, last time we had to sort of come in at this from the top. Yeah, don't think that's going to get me anything. Of course, anybody who watches this later will probably be yelling at me to say, oh, it's obvious you need to be doing this. Well, never said I was the smartest person in the world. Huh. Well, okay, that's nice to have. Wow, they really make you work for your flappy levels. So if this follows previous practice, there should be a 1 high somewhere that I would need to light. Lots of targets. Ah. There's the 1. I hope. Yeah, there we go. There's the 2. That would make 3. Presumably... Oh, look, I can count. Well, makes me smarter than a flat earther. Oh, that's what that's for. Alright. So that's one of those where I got to line 4 things up and shoot through them. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Which means I have to get into there, which I believe is currently blocked off. Interesting. There appears to be one of those portal type things up there. Which I mean, looks like I have to come in at it from the other side. That would almost demand that I... Yeah, we've got to raise that up, which means I need things to put on it, like that, which means I have to open that up. Is this even worth doing? I'm not sure if I've been sidetracked. That's alright. I don't mind. I don't mind being a bit sidetracked. Well, one other place to go. Well, I say probably more than that. And, yep. Not seeing a huge amount helpful in here. Oh, I just noticed we have 3 watching. One of them is me, one of them is Vampire Lynx, and hello other person. Well, it doesn't hurt to check over here. Now, game logic would say that everything I need for this is pretty much around here, so I will proceed with that assumption. I have to admit, this is one of those games where I don't mind just wandering around. Oh, well, that could potentially be useful. Well, you do have to wonder, how on earth did that warrior get up here? I mean, there's no stairs. No obvious stairs. He must have been carried? Dropped? Don't know. Yeah, you do like sitting on skeletons' heads, don't you? Alright, actually this is a good vantage point. Let me see. So we're still looking for our second heavy object. We still want to shoot through all the various things down there. And we obviously need to get through that portal there. And beyond that, I don't have a lot of ideas. Yeah, we already know I can't go through here, I think. Oh, no. No. I did not know that. Not helpful. And we have... What's this? Why do we have... shining lights here? Oh, that's one of those. Ah. Alright, so I can light up. I can light that up, which shines a light over there, and vice versa. I don't know how that really helps. Can't see anything immediately that I'm supposed... Oh! Don't tell me. I could go retrieve heavy object. Come all the way back up here and put it on that, see whether that achieves anything. No, I'm not immediately about to head off to try that. Have I been over there, though? To see what this is about. No problem. Keep running into things that I am by no means certain are related. I mean, I can shoot this. Yeah, doesn't do me any good. Why are these highlighted? Apparently I am not a good puzzle solver. I am, to be honest, more of a brute force and ignorance. Person when it comes to dealing with problems. Alright, let me see. We have a path of sorts that takes us there. What have I missed? Oh! I'm guessing that was a graphical glitch. Yeah, you see what I mean by a sort of path. This almost looks Aztec? Mayan? Sort of ziggurat type thing? I know, the Aztecs and... Well, no, ziggurat is a specific type of temple rather than one in a specific location, I think, so... Oh, so if this region is dedicated to Kernos, or Cernos, and it is basically woodland and meadow and wild places, does that mean the section dedicated to Nimue is going to be somewhat wetter, given that she was Lady of the Lake? No, I don't really know where I'm going at this point. Oops. Got stuck down there. And this is one of those other... shoot 3 arrows through the targets type things. Yeah, which isn't going to do me any good at this point, I doubt. Oh, it did! What do I know? Okay, I got somewhere. Yay. Let's see if this has anything to tell us. Oh, the shrine of the Eagle Mother welcomes you. Rest here and let the wind of her wing beats ease your mind. Have you seen the size of the Eagle Mother? I mean, that would be like, you know, rock size. One of those mythological things that apparently could carry off an elephant. I'm not sure the wing beats of something that large would necessarily ease my troubled mind. Okay, so we have 2 glyphs. I suppose I can go to one of those and see whether anything is resolved by doing so. I can always come back. it's a good way to travel. Yeah, that kind of does look a bit like... what was Sauron's tower called in... Mordor? Get the feeling I'm coming at this from an unexpected angle. Well, that was convenient. Barad-dûr, thank you. I read when I was younger, I mean obviously when I was a kid, reading The Hobbit was almost a must-do. And of course, if you read The Hobbit, you had to read The Lord of the Rings, and if you read The Lord of the Rings, you pretty much had to read The Silmarillion, and I did read all of those many times over. But I haven't read them in years, to be honest. Alright, let's, ooh, what's that? Yeah, as much as I liked Tolkien, and anybody who's listened to me for any length of time will have heard me talk about how The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings were written. I kind of went off them when I got older, and I never cared for his poetry all that much. I'm sorry I didn't. There used to be a joke that you could summarize Tolkien's elven poetry as "Yay, trees!" Ooh, what's this? I don't know. Looks like a toadstool ring. Otherwise known as fairy rings. I've actually seen those. They're not that uncommon. My limited understanding of them is basically, if you get a toadstool in the center, it will disperse its spores in a circle, and when they grow, you get a ring. So that's my understanding, but you can definitely find them. Right, I've now largely lost track of whatever it was I was doing. I don't care personally. This land has been under threat for some considerable time. I'm sure a few more days won't make a huge amount of difference. Which begs an interesting question. So bear with me. This is not... You are not playing the first hunter to have been here. All other hunters have kind of vanished along the way. So, why on earth didn't they come here in one large cooperative group? Would that not have made more sense? Or is this the chosen one trope? You know, sort of the same thing in Harry Potter. You are the chosen one, or whatever. Or Star Wars, or any other number of books where that appears. Let's face it, I would far rather, I think, have a well-organized group of professionals looking to deal with a problem than some mythical chosen one. Oh, I mean, I'm trying to say, the chosen one trope is so overdone. Why don't we see 65-year-old crotchety men or women heading out to do battle against the forces of evil and complaining about their aching back every step along the way? I mean, at least then they'd have the possibility, well, you know, they're old, they know stuff. Oh. Every time? You think they'd have learned their lesson by now. Every time we send somebody, it doesn't work. Well, let's try sending 2 or 7. Oh. Arrow went straight through and turned a different color. That's interesting. I'd love to see a book where the chosen one, chosen by prophecy, takes one look at the prophecy and says, no wait, sorry, don't care, go away, leave me alone. And then the book goes on to deal with something completely unrelated. Oh. Yeah, that would be funny. Only you can set us free. Not interested, sorry, I got a better things to do. Oh, Star Wars, of course, did the same sort of thing, didn't it? Bring balance to the Force. Yeah. Let me see if I got this straight. You got a bunch of Jedi who take kids away from their mothers, never let them see them again, savagely repress their emotions, and you think that's a good idea. That's gonna cause problems. Oh yeah, and you can't get married, you can't have relationships, but somehow you've got to search their feelings, this sort of thing. I mean, just imagine how much easier it would have been if Anakin, they found, he fell in love with what's her name, Queen Amidala, and she said, I'm not quite sure why you're all wound up about the Jedi. I'm rich. Why don't you just simply retire and we can do something together? And that would have made life a lot simpler. And no, that idea does not originate with me. Padme? Yes. That's it. Same one. Padme was Queen Amma, however you pronounce it. As much as I have enjoyed the Star Wars movies over the years, I'm not a huge Star Wars geek any more than I am a Star Trek geek. And yes, I know that probably within the Star Wars lexicon there's all kinds of reasons why things happened the way they did, but some of it just doesn't make a lot of sense. No, I've no idea why I'm heading this way, just seems like a good idea at the time, and I wasn't paying attention. And I wanted to see how you can get up there. Not from down here, it would seem. Yeah, funny thing is, I kind of grew up with, well, first Star Trek, and then Star Wars, and then more Star Trek, and then... What was the first of the trilogy, of the prequel trilogy movies? The one which had Jar Jar Binks in. That I find completely unwatchable these days. It is terrible. For me, at least. I did try watching it again. Oh, when was it? 3 years ago. I couldn't watch it. It was so bad. In many ways, the original movie, the original Star Wars, before it became Star Wars A New Hope, when I first saw it, it wasn't Star Wars A New Hope, it was just Star Wars. That was actually interesting, because of the stuff that George Lucas borrowed from it. If you've ever seen Dam Busters, which was a black and white war movie made in the 1950s, he basically steals huge chunks of the Dam Busters movie and sticks it into the attack on the Death Star. Oh, that's slightly depressing. I get all the way up here and I've got no idea why or what I was thinking I was doing. Oh, what do you want to bet? Oh no, I don't want to do that. Yes, there we go. Well, that turned out to be straightforward after I'd spent entirely too long messing around. How long have I been streaming now? Anybody got any idea? 2 hours, 10 minutes. Alright. I hope I don't lose subscribers because of some of the things I've said about Star Wars. Or Tolkien. Hey, I like the movies. I've done the whole watch the entire trilogy thing. I just happen to prefer the Hobbit trilogy because I like Martin Freeman as Bilbo rather than Elijah Wood as Frodo. Oh, that gave me acute pain watching Elijah Wood's Frodo. He really wasn't anything like he was in the books. I haven't been able to look at Elijah Wood since he's But Martin Freeman as Bilbo, fantastic, loved him. Alright, I suspect what I'm going to do is liberate this tower and then see what I do from there. Yeah, I've never been one for the whole sort of fandom wars, this is better than that. You know, people like what they like, and they don't even have to have a good reason. I mean, I like Doctor Who, but you know, who's the best Doctor Who? Ooh, that's a good question. That's going to get you in trouble. I mean, when I was a kid, it was Tom Baker, and then after Tom Baker, don't think I saw them all that much, but the quality to me just quietly dropped. But then they resurrected the series, of course, with Christopher Eccleston, and then we have a series of very good Doctors. I mean, I'm hard-pressed to say which one is my favorite. Didn't like Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, but that's not really her fault. That's the writing as much as anything else. Haven't watched the Doctor Who for a few years. I did come to greatly appreciate Peter Capaldi's Doctor. I thought he was fantastic. He may actually be my favourite Doctor of the sort of new generation, starting with Christopher Eccleston. I wasn't a massive fan of Matt Smith, but he was actually a good Doctor. And of course David Tennant, yes. But Matt Smith definitely had some moments, so, yeah. They are, yeah, like I say, good. Jodie Whittaker. I don't know what they were thinking, but I don't think it was down to her skill as an actor. I think it was simply they didn't really come up with a great storyline. Oh, and I think I may have put off one of my watches on. Sorry about that. And we have, well, a few more of these to do, so, yeah. Well, I've got the talisman or whatever. I may as well head over and finish that one, and then I think I'm going to have to call it a day. But in the meantime, I still have time to go. Not time to go. A bit of time before I finish, I think. I do like this form of travel. It is hilarious and fun at the same time. I almost forgot where I was headed. Oh, I don't want to get too close to that. Yeah, that does not strike me as being the best thing I could have done. Got too close. So I assume they have a handy rope for me here. Yep, there we go. Oh, for some reason I thought we had more to go to. I wasn't actually anticipating this. At this point I put my finger up and say, do you mind I have a good night's sleep first? Down there, nestled in the trees, I can still see the poison where they freed the Pathfinder. So much blood was spilled that day. I hope for his followers' sake that the one true path is worth the sacrifice. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, next time I stream this, and I'm not entirely certain when that will be, we will obviously be heading into that thing. Thanks for watching Vampire Links, and anybody else who comes across this later. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm not going to do it right away. I'm getting hungry. It's getting on. And that sort of thing. So anyway, thanks for sitting through this with me. I hope you have a good rest of your day. And to anybody else, well, and to Vampire Links as well, have a good rest of Christmas. And I'll see you all next time.